Today we're going to discuss the ControlScan integration into P2, and we'll kind of show you what it's going to look like inside of our CRM and just some of the kind of basic features and functions and how it looks and what it does. We also have a representative from ControlScan on the phone, and we will go ahead and unmute him, and he'll kind of give us his talk and his information about ControlScan when we get there. So we'll start out with a PowerPoint, we'll move into a little bit of discussion, and then we'll actually show you guys the integration into P2. So let's go and get started. I'll go ahead and share my screen with you guys. You should all see my screen pop up here in just a second. All right, guys, so let me make sure I'm on my fast wireless network. Give me just a second. Sorry for all the setup stuff. I want to make sure this is a good webinar and everybody can hear us okay. Okay, so that's a good one. We'll stay on that network. Perfect. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get started. Show you my slideshow, play my screen, and you should see what I have going. Okay, perfect. So, hi, I'm Evan with POS Portal. There's going to be a slight bit of delay, guys, but keep in mind it's a webinar. So, hi, I'm Evan with POS Portal, and today we're going to be discussing the ControlScan integration into P2. And it looks like we still have a slow... Okay, so we're still there. Let's keep going. So, forgive me, guys, for a couple second delay you're going to have, but we'll try not to talk too fast to make sure you guys can see everything and it's all there. So, hi, I'm Evan with POS Portal. I'm going to be presenting today. Just a little bit about POS Portal before we get going. You know, we are known pretty widely in the industry for our deployment services, equipment sales, rentals, as well as our CRM system, which is what we're going to talk about today. If you guys are interested in discussing any other products with us or any other services, that's what we do. We service the payments industry, so we're always available, happy to talk about, terminals, deployment, anything else you want. But today we're going to mainly focus on ControlScan. So just a little bit about kind of our size, our facility, what we are. We've been around for, I think, about 13 years now. We have 3 locations. Our headquarters is in Sacramento, California, where we're talking to you guys from today. We also have our West operations, distribution in California as well. So we can actually ship terminals out of Sacramento. And we have an East operations in Louisville, Kentucky. So we can handle cutoff times from either side of the country. So I want to give a little bit of kind of entry into ControlScan. I'm going to go ahead and unmute our ControlScan representative. So give me just a second, guys, so we can get some information about ControlScan. All right, Mark, I'm going to go ahead and send you the audio pin here. If you might need to go ahead and connect or dial in if you'd like to talk. Let me make sure you have that here to you. So Mark, let me know when you're on. I've got you connected. Mark, can you hear us? Let me make sure I unmute you here. There you go. Mark, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep, we got you loud and clear.
Fantastic. Thank you, Evan, and thank you, everybody attending today's webinar. We appreciate to be part of the webinar and also have partnered with POS Portal with their award-winning P2 Customer Relationship Management System. I just wanted to spend just a few moments to introduce ControlScan for everybody who may not be aware of who we are. We provide payment security and PCI compliance solutions tailored to meet our partners' specific needs. We have been in the industry since back in 2005, actually started as a security-related company selling SSL certificates and encryption services. And when we focused on the PCI marketplace, we decided to be very unique in our offering and focus on where the majority of the merchants were, which is in the level 3 and level 4 space. So our offerings and suite of security solutions and PCI programs not only fulfill the needs of the smaller merchant, but also the larger merchant too. But we know that the smaller merchants a lot of times need the extra hand-holding, the support, because they have little to less IT experience or resources. We are very service-oriented as a company. Over 80% of our resources are customer service support or security technical professional related. We believe that the merchant experience is the most important aspect, want to make this and simplify the PCI process for your merchants so that it's less frustration to them and they're happier with their overall relationship with you, our partner. We are an ASV approved scanning vendor, as well as did retrieve or obtain our QSA designation close to 3 years ago. We primarily focus on the acquirers, ISOs, and our banking partners, and specifically work with our QSAs for projects that are related to that and to those our existing partners and their merchants. Today, we maintain close to 135 partnerships with folks such as the folks on this call today, the ISOs, the acquirers, and the banks, and maintain at any point in time normally close to 500,000 or more merchants that are active in our compliance system. On the slide that you see now concerning partner and merchant support, again, that's the biggest focus for our company, is making sure not only the merchant experience is outstanding, but so is our partnership with our payment service providers. For our partners, we provide 2 points of contact, a program manager and a relationship manager that are assigned to your partnership and your PCI program from day one. The program manager works to help launch the program, as well as to deal with the tactical day-to-day happenings of the account and continually focus and communicate with our partners, whereas a relationship manager works more on a strategic level, focuses on the different things that you'll have access to in terms of reports and other compliance metrics, and continually enhance the program and be true partners with one another to drive compliance rates and mitigate risk. We are well known for our thought leadership in the marketplace, so we provide training and ongoing educational support to our partners and basically provide a team that treats your merchants the way you wish them to be treated. For the merchants, they have access to our call center, support center, access via phone number, instant chat, and email, and really provide all the tools and techniques and the step-by-step assistance to take over and for you to feel comfortable with outsourcing the PCI assistance that's needed for the merchants to complete the process and become compliant.
Perfect. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. Mark, I'm going to go ahead and leave you unmuted for the remainder of the webinar, just in case you'd like to add anything in as Shobit and I get into a little bit more explanation of the product. That slide we were just on with some of Shobit's contact information. We'll make sure to bring that back up at the end of the webinar so you have any of that information. But Mark, I'm going to go ahead and leave you unmuted just in case you feel like you want to add anything in as we move along.
Thank you, Evan.
Yep.
Hey everyone, this is Shobhit, and thanks Mark for giving us a good introduction to ControlScan and the services that you provide. So just now coming back to the integration that we've built with P2, we realized that there is this distinct shift in the industry where ISOs and acquirers now need more control and more knowledge about the PCI health of their portfolio. Not just from a compliance point of view, but I think everybody agrees that it is very important to know the health and the status from a revenue point of view. And since P2 is that CRM tool that lets you manage your entire portfolio, you have everything about the merchant in P2. It was very natural for us to come up with an integration that would also let you manage your PCI related data about merchants. So that was easy for us to figure out that yes, we do need some sort of an integration with a PCI provider, but we also wanted to make sure that whoever we shake hands with is a sought after name in the industry. They're reliable, and they are pretty good and responsive with their customer support, and that's why we chose ControlScan. So when we go into the demo here shortly, you will see how the integration works. But at a very high level, once you have the integration set up, you are obviously using P2 as your CRM system. But once you have the integration and you have a relationship with ControlScan set up, what you would be able to do is set up all your new merchants, even existing ones. If you are already a ControlScan customer, in P2, you can get PCI related information, several data fields that you can get back from ControlScan. We'll show you which ones specifically. So you can create new merchants, board them onto ControlScan. Once that is done, an email will go out to the merchant so that they can then log in and start answering the SAQs. And once they've started that process, P2 is going to be the place where you'll also get updated information. We are constantly syncing with ControlScan to give you that information. So, at the end of the day, you will not really need to go to ControlScan's system to get the information. So it's easier, more effective for you. And we know that you use other data elements in P2 to use the PCI information. So once you have all that information at one place, it's easier to manage and easier to track. And that's the crux of the integration. And now we will actually go into P2 and show you how the boarding happens and how you will get updates about PCI data.
Perfect. Thank you, Shobhit. So guys, just to add a little bit to that, we're going to show you today kind of a basic demo. We're going to show 2 merchants. We're going to show one that we're going to board, and then we're going to show one that's been boarded. Some things to keep in mind, we're in the demo that we're showing today. We're actually connecting to a test account, so we're not actually going to really live, we're not going to board live merchants. So keep in mind that there is going to be some data, right, that might be available that you might not see on the demo, but there's fields that ControlScan can return that information. So just keep that in mind. If you want to get into the field by field kind of discussion on what we built and what kind of data you can pull in from ControlScan, we'll be happy to set up a demo and really get into what each one of those fields are and what that looks like. So I just wanted to kind of segue with that. So give us just a second. Let me switch over to P2 so we can show you guys the integration here. All right, so for those of you guys who are on the phone who might not be super familiar with P2 and what we have here as a CRM system, P2 is our award-winning CRM system specifically for merchant services. We have over 100 clients today, several thousand users. We have integrations into third-party vendors, things like ControlScan, ACHing, other things like that. So, super robust system. For anybody on the call who might not be 100% familiar with, what it is and how it works, let us know and we'll make sure to give you guys a full demo so you can actually see everything that's happening and what it fully looks like. So I know we got a little bit of delay here. It should come up in just a second. We'll wait before we get started. Give us just a second, guys. I gotta make sure that you can see my screen, or there's really no use for me going into the demo here. So let's see. All right, there we go. It caught up. Sorry about that delay, guys. Let's, if we keep running into problems here, we'll see if we can switch networks. I would hate to mess something up with the webinar, so let's just kind of keep going and make sure that, we'll try to be slow to make sure you guys keep up. So here we are in P2, right? So this is the P2 home screen. There's a lot going on, right, with our system. And again, I mentioned if you guys want to see more information about, P2 and what it is, let us know. We're not going to spend a ton of time. We're built on top of the Salesforce.com platform. It's a super powerful CRM system. It's designed to run your ISOs all the way from the lead, referral, all the way through the sales process, back office, underwriting, applications, boarding, all the way, obviously now through your PCI information. So let's go ahead and jump into an active merchant, right? So I'm going to grab an active merchant record, and we're going to go ahead and show you some PCI information and go ahead and board this merchant. So it looks like you're catching up. Yep. So I'm just waiting to make sure everything's caught up. So the first one I want to show you is I'm going to start with 24/7 Fitness. Now, this is an active merchant account that we have inside of our CRM system, right? And so with 24/7 Fitness, this would be a merchant that was recently signed up, and we want to go ahead and board this merchant. So here we are on the home screen. Again, I'll slow up just a little bit to make sure that my screen catches up. So here on the home screen, this is where all your data about the merchant's going to be stored. You're going to see contact information. You're going to have other information with things like notes, contacts, deals, other things like that. So you're going to see all this information, right, about the merchant. You're going to see other stuff like attachments, tickets, ACH information. All that stuff's going to be available here. Now, what's going to happen then is at this point, right, we have a button over here that says Board with ControlScan. So you can see that we might have, you can see we got a little widget that says merchant has not been boarded with ControlScan yet. So you'll get a little message here that tells you at the top of the PCI information. And a couple of things to point out here, these are all very configurable fields. You might not be interested as an ISO in having all of this data being displayed inside of your CRM. So, you can choose, this is all the fields, or I think almost all the fields that we're pulling in from ControlScan. So, again, if there's some stuff that you might not use, and we give you little help buttons, right, next to each field so that you can actually see what this actually field is in case you have any questions. So let's go ahead then. You can see that this merchant has not been boarded yet. So we're going to go ahead and click on the Board with ControlScan button here at the top. So here on the screen, we're going to grab all the information we know about the merchant. So here's, big benefits, right, for what you guys are going to get. You're getting things like we're going to populate all this data for you. So all you're going to really do is have to submit the board button, right? So you can see here that with the board button, all these red fields are required, and you're going to go ahead and click board and board the merchant. Now, we tried to make this integration as seamless and clean as possible. So, we're going to populate data wherever we can. We're going to make this process very simple. We're going to populate the information about the merchant. You're going to go ahead and click board merchant. If there's any issues with MIDs or anything like that, you'll get a message that tells you so. But this has been successfully boarded. So you're going to see these messages pop up that say, hey, the merchant's been successfully boarded and all the data has been saved.
So just to add to that, I'm sure you guys understand the business, the use case there is that you've successfully sold processing to a merchant. Now the merchant is processing with you. The next step is to obviously get the merchant to subscribe to your PCI program, and that's when you would need to board the merchant to ControlScan.
Yep. So let's go ahead and click on Return to Merchant. Now, guys, what happens kind of behind the scenes is what would happen today if you were to go to ControlScan and set the merchant up through ControlScan's system. So, you'll see some information pop up. We're waiting for an email to pop up so you can see kind of the email that's going to come. So here's the email that actually P2 fired off, right? Now, a couple things to remember. First of all, this is a very generic template that we have set up inside of P2 to really just show the process. P2 supports HTML, text, all sorts of custom templates. So this is just an example to show the functionality. And this is the kind of pre-configured message, right? And Shobit?
So that is the message that just went out as soon as you boarded this new merchant to ControlScan. P2 sent out an email to the merchant, which is the email ID you had in P2 for the merchant, giving them their username and password. And now the next step, as you understand, for the merchant is to go into their system and start answering the SAQs. So ControlScan can then start monitoring the PCI status for this merchant. So the merchant got this information, they will log in, and you at your end, now we can go back to P2 and show you the data has changed for this merchant in P2 from the status that you were seeing earlier.
Yeah. And a couple things to point out about these templates, guys. Our system's super powerful. So obviously we're grabbing contact names, business names, phone numbers, everything. We populate all that, right? So, if we were to send it to a new merchant, we're going to populate all this information, generate these new emails. So let's go back in. So if you can see now that I've actually went ahead and clicked something, and you can see once I've sent the boarding over, it'll say merchant has been boarded with ControlScan. Now, because I was hitting their test environment, it didn't return any data for this example. Now I'm going to go over to a merchant where we can show you some of the information that would be returned from this ControlScan integration?
So now the next step is for the merchant to log into their account and go into ControlScan and start answering. So once they start answering the questions is when you will have more data come in. Now this example, this merchant that we're going to show you, we've already gone in and answered the SAQs for this merchant. So we'll just show you quickly how the PCI section for this merchant looks different from the one that we just saw, because this merchant went in, answered the SAQs, and depending on the responses they gave, ControlScan was able to figure out that they are PCI compliant. You know what their compliant date is, when the account was created. So you know what the SAQ types are. In this case, it's B. So all this data is filled up by P2 pinging ControlScan system in the back end. And for you as a user, it was pretty easy. You were already in P2. You were working on the merchant account, and now with this new feature that we've added, you can just click, as you saw, a few buttons, and you boarded the merchant with ControlScan, and then you can just let the systems do their magic and talk in the back end without you having to go to multiple system and multiple sources. So that's the use case here, where now with this integration you get PCI data for your merchant portfolio. But I think now as you can understand, as Evan pointed out, that all these fields are reportable. Folks who are familiar with P2, they know that it is a very strong reports engine as well. So what you can now do is say at the end of the month, I want to find out who all in my merchant portfolio is compliant, who is not. Maybe I want to set up a call and call them to make sure that they answer the SAQs. So depending on your own business case, you can use these fields, this data, to then start calling the merchants, or maybe you want to charge them. I know there is a revenue attached to the PCI status as well. So the ISO can then pull up a report and say, hey, 400 out of my 800 merchants are not compliant, and now I have to charge them $25. Just an example there for the fact that they're not compliant. So you can very easily get details about those 400 merchants now with the reporting feature that P2 gives you. In the past, we've had customers who used to send us Excel spreadsheets, and then they would want us to update certain specific fields in P2 with that information. As you understand, was not just tedious for the ISO, but was tedious for us as well, because we had to use the Excel spreadsheet, update data. Now with this integration, all that is really not needed at all, and you're saving a lot of time doing with the automation that we've done.
Yeah, and I don't know if Shobit mentioned it, but we also have an ACH integration as well. So for the clients that want to do some of that PCI billing right through our system, that's also an option. So you kind of keep it all inside of one system in one place. So I noticed a couple of chat messages that were coming in. We'll check those in just a second, and we'll unmute everybody to see if there's any additional questions. But I wanted to just hit on a couple more things. This piece that you see right here, right? Again, as a CRM system, it's very customizable. So this actual piece doesn't have to really be here in this spot. It could be moved up and could be the top piece of information. You could also only show maybe a couple of these fields if you felt the need to. So I just want to make it clear that it doesn't have to look like this or behave like this. It's very customizable and very configurable. So let's go ahead and check some of the chat questions that we have. Can the outgoing email be delayed so that it's sent after the merchant? Let me look at this whole one. So the merchant is physically boarded and live. So, yep, great question, Michael. So, with P2, what we're able to do is set up these types of kind of workflow triggers or workflow rules. And that's what's sending out the email. And so, with workflow triggers, you're able to delay them by days. You could potentially set a workflow trigger that says, I want to only send the welcome email, once the merchant has done something specific and there may be some sort of updating. So there's lots of options for when that email is going to go out. It could be a manual send, it could be an automated send, it could be lots of different things. So if there's some specific requirements around that, let us know. We're happy to see if there's something else that we can update. Will our current data in ControlScan be uploaded into P2?
Yes, Mike, that will be uploaded into P2. So what we're going to do is, once you say that, yes, I want to use the integration when we install this package in your org, you can actually select, there is a custom setting. You can say, yes, please sync my existing database that I have already with ControlScan. And we're going to use merchant IDs to see a match between your data in P2 and the data that you have in ControlScan. And using that as the identifier, all the existing data that you have for your merchants will come back to P2.
Yep. So I'm going to unmute everybody, guys. Remember, housekeeping rules, please make sure you have me on mute if you have me on speakerphone, right? Because again, we are recording this, so there will be a recording available. I'm going to go ahead and unmute everybody, so give me a second while I walk through the unmuting process. If you're not on the phone, I'm going to go ahead and actually send you the audio pin in case you want to come in and ask some questions. So if I hear some noise pop on as I unmute you, I'm going to go ahead and remute you so I don't get a lot of loud background noise. So give me just a second while I unmute everybody. All right, guys, give me just a second. Almost done unmuting everybody.
While Evan is doing that, just for folks who are P2 customers or are not P2 customers, for you to use these services, if you are a P2 customer and if you are also using ControlScan, it's pretty easy. You just need to reach out to us. You can reach out to me. We will display our contact information now, and you can reach out to me. We'll set you up. For folks who do not work with ControlScan, let us know, contact us. You can contact Mark Hayward or you can contact me. We will connect you with ControlScan, and then you will obviously first need to get set up with them, so you can do that. And also for folks who are neither customers of ControlScan or P2, to use the integration, you have to be using P2. So you can contact us if you want to learn more about P2. We will, contact you back again and give you a detailed demo of what P2 does. I know Evan just gave you a very brief intro, but the capabilities of P2 are much deeper than that. So we will, give you a good demo of what P2 does, and that will also include this integration.
So while we got everybody unmuted, is there any questions anybody would like to ask verbally or type in or whatever? Also, Mark, if you have any additional comments or color you'd like to add, please feel free to speak up as well. So usually quiet means that we did an awesome job. So I'll assume that's what that means. Again, there will be a recorded version of this. If you would like to see more, if you have questions, we're going to have a sales rep just send a quick follow-up to make sure that there are no follow-up questions that we need to answer. And again, we can set up demos and things like that if you want to see more of what we've done with our ControlScan integration. So I think we'll go ahead and stay on the line for a couple minutes to make sure no other questions come up. We're done showing the product today on this webinar. So thank you very much for your time. Thanks for joining. Thank you, Mark, for joining us today from ControlScan. And you see Mark and Shobit's contact information up here. So please reach out if you have any additional questions, and expect either a friendly email or a nice phone call from one of our reps here just to make sure that there are no additional concerns or questions. So we're going to hang out on the phone for a few minutes in case something comes up, but you all are free to go sell to some merchants. So thank you very much, guys, for your time, and have a great week.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.